Simple Life Prepper here. Today is Thursday, May 7th, 2020. And today we're going to be talking about 10 ways to prepare for disaster. It may not be what you think. Disasters can come in all shapes and sizes. They can be economic collapse. They can be civil unrest. They can be pandemics. They can be government control. They can be weather disasters. They can be food shortages. Whatever comes your way, you want to be prepared. The first way to make sure that you're prepared is to have your finances in order. This can be done as simply as paying your debts down, trying to stay out of debt, or having no debt at all. It is important to also make sure that your bills are paid up to date. If at all possible, try to pay your bills a month ahead. I know that can be hard, but in the long run, if you had your bills paid a month ahead, you wouldn't have to worry whenever everything is closed down for at least the first month. And wouldn't that be great? So, the other thing I suggest on finances is to make sure you have a little bit of money on hand. You never know when the power might go out, the banking system might go down, or ATMs might not give you any money. What if you went to the store and your credit card didn't work? Would you be okay for a few weeks without being able to use your credit card or ATM card? So always make sure you have just a little bit of money on hand. Second of all, make sure that all your doctor's appointments are up to date. Making sure that you've had all your appointments is very important so that that's one less thing you have to worry about in time of a disaster. Who would have thought during a pandemic you couldn't get your elective surgeries? But that is what happened. People were put off from having their surgeries for 6 weeks or more. So make sure that you have all your things up to date so that that is one less thing that you have to worry about during a pandemic. Likewise, make sure that your children and your pets are also up to date. That way, you can stay safe and you won't have to worry about being in pain during a disaster. The third thing is that goes hand in hand with your doctor's appointment is being fit. Make sure that you keep your fitness up to date. So this can be done by keeping your heart and your lungs strong and being able to walk a fair amount of distance each day. That way, if for some reason you're away from home and you have to walk back to safety, your family, in case of disaster, you can do so without being in distress. You don't want to collapse on the side of the road simply because you hadn't done any physical activity in a while. So try to keep that physical activity up to date so that in case of disaster, that will be one less thing that you have to worry about. Number 4 is home improvements. Make sure that everything around your house, from your structure to your plumbing to your electrical, is all in good working condition. If a disaster occurs, you may not be able to get supplies or get people in to do the repairs. So kind of make sure that the big things are all up to date around your home, and that will give you peace of mind during a disaster. Number 5 is car maintenance. Make sure that everything on your car is up to date. Make sure that you change the oil and check the tires regularly, and also make sure that all the maintenance is done on time. This way, if you have to leave a situation to get away from danger and get to safety, you can go in your car. Also, it's always helpful to keep a half a tank of gas or more at all times in your vehicle. If you get down to a half a tank, just simply fill it up at that time. That way, if you need to get away from somewhere and the gas stations aren't working, you have a full tank of gas to get away from danger and to safety. Number 6 is take a first aid class. This way, you can do basic first aid if you need to. If there's no doctors around or nurses and somebody gets hurt, you will be able to do the basic things. Make sure that you include CPR and that you know all the basic first aid items so that if somebody gets hurt in your group, you will be able to at least patch them up until you can get to a doctor. Number 7, going along with the first aid class is watch some how-to videos. Watch some how-to videos on how to start a fire, how to cook, how to sew, how to do some maintenance around your house in case you need to do it. All those things that you might have to do because there is an emergency and there aren't people around that can help you out. You never know when you might need to do some of those things in an emergency. Number 8 is keep an emergency bag in your car also. That way, if the case came that you were away from home, you would have at least the basic necessities with you. Maybe some water, a first aid kit, maybe some good walking shoes, anything that you think would need to be in a bag in case you would need it to get back home or to get to safety is probably a good idea. Number 9 is a meeting place. Make sure that everybody in your family or your group know that if for some reason you have to leave your home or current location, where you'll be bugging out to. This can be another family's home. It could be a location out in the country. It is better if it's not in the middle of a city. Cities are dangerous places to be during emergencies. That these are 10 things that you won't have to worry about once a disaster hits. Until next time, always remember, keeping it simple is not the same as doing nothing.